Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. And we are going live again tonight as well at 7:30 Eastern Time for the triumvirate, maybe even more special guests. We don't even know.
Yeah, we're hoping maybe we'll get Danny Chang to join us as well. So that'll be a super treat. And RBB is always welcome if you want to join in too. Real Blonde Broker. Oh, now there's the audio I wanted off. Here we go. I'm trying to watch the show on my phone too, so I can interact with the audience in the chat here. But yeah, happy Tuesday, everyone. And it looks like the wheel has turned again. Extreme fear is gonna, it only invites extreme greed at the very end of it. The extremes are, all the way to fear and all the way to greed. When you get to the extremes, they really just circle back and touch each other at the top. It's the Ouroboros, the world dragon eating its tail.
Yep. You can't have greed for too long, and you can't have fear for too long. So they will oscillate back and forth.
Yeah. Oh gosh, one more metaphor. Someone was asking me this morning, what is it that has suddenly changed in the market? I'm like, it's like, why is it changing now? It's like that's like asking why the wave decides to crest and crash on the beach. It was always going to do so. It just does so in its own timing.
Well, we just had that data come out, and look at the IWM just jump pre-market back over 220. Bitcoin is going to 97,000. I guess the data was good.
I guess so. I guess that makes an island of those two daily candles. So here you have what? It's kind of like almost a gap down followed by a matched with a gap up. So gaps can match each other.
Yeah, Tesla's going up too. Yeah, everything is kind of gapping up a little bit now. Nice. XRP 257. That's the level I'm watching for XRP 257. So we'll see if it can close candles above it. All right. But anyways, yeah, since the data came out and it was good data, and I guess people knew it was good data yesterday because they started bidding up the market, right? Everybody knows something. And I think, what I really saw yesterday was the IWM hit the 200-day moving average for the second time. The last time it did that was August 5th. That was a liquidity crash, right? The Japan carry trade. And we did it again today. So that was another liquidity grab for that level. So I don't know if it really needs to go lower. And it's kind of proof pre-market that things might want to get back above that support, that 702. So it looks like a quick little V bottom for that liquidity grab underneath to steal all of your shares and make you cry at night and panic. And now price has potential to continue to build a base back on top of this 219. So that's the level that we are going to pay attention to for the rest of the week. Just try to get back above it, stay above it, and close the week back above it as well. And QQQ daily chart also went to get that liquidity at the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud on the daily chart. Now it's getting back above it again. So I think it has potential to ride that cloud out of here and continue higher. So let's watch for that as support. And the SPY is getting back above the 585. So another quick little liquidity grab, a V bottom out of there. It did actually close the day back above the 100-day moving average, which was a great thing. So this has potential to be support again as well. So 585 is back in play as support, just like nothing ever happened. So let's continue to watch that level for the rest of the week. And sometimes markets just need to get extra liquidity before they can go higher. And that 585 not holding temporarily it happens, right? For two candles in a row, it hasn't been holding, but now it has the chance to actually close this week back above for the weekly candle. So this is looking like the potential of a recovery now, but levels must hold for the rest of the week. So I'm not gonna be too excited yet until I see weekly candle closes above those levels mentioned.
Indeed.
All right.
So let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin got back over 97,000 briefly this morning.
Yeah. So just Bitcoin. I was watching it go through the 91. I was like, yeah, this is good. This is a good thing going through it, and it was a quick recovery. So nothing has changed. This is still your support, and the people that are still calling for much lower, it's got to really prove it wants to go lower, but so far it hasn't, right? So the 91,158 is still your support, and your resistance is still 102. So when you look at the range, nothing else has really changed, but the level I'm watching is that little conversion line right there. It's still going to act as some resistance on the way back to 102, and that's 98,764. So I would like to see a weekly candle close above that level on Sunday for Bitcoin for really confirmation that it wants to go higher.
Oh yeah, I do too. And man, and then I'm just so pleased with my XRP purchase. I told everyone on the show this morning or yesterday morning I bought more XRP. And I'm sorry, I wasn't doing XRP chart, but
oh, okay.
No, it's fine. Here's my XRP chart. And I said, yeah, when it dipped down into here, I said, this is my last chance. I think I'm going to buy more XRP, and I bought a couple more $1,000 of XRP. And now look where it is. It's like way back up here again, around 258. And I was saying yesterday, once it gets over the 786 of 254, it'll be ready to start getting ready to break out. And look where we are. We're back over that. In fact, it spent all of yesterday over that, banging around on that 786. And now we got back to the previous high, tested back down to the 786 for support. And so now we can go ahead and take off and start retesting all these levels up here back to the previous all-time high and beyond. In fact, I guess I could do the next thing, which is look back at this 786. This is the 100% level from down here I picked. Anyway, the 786 it wants to get to next is 269. Once it can see here, 269 was resistance before it plunged all the way down there. So once XRP can get back over 269 and turn into support, then we can go ahead and retest the all-time high of 290 and then just keep going. And then my next target for XRP basically it doubles again from where we were, building that base down here around $2.50, $2. It goes to like $5 next. Now 508 is where I'm seeing it next, and then we'll see another probably a little consolidation pattern between $5 and 421, which is the 150 level to 123.6. Then it goes to like 8. Maybe it goes to 9. I don't know. Matt's got a different chart, but I'm very excited about XRP. I probably already talked about too much, but I just can't shut up about XRP because it's making me the most money right now. In short, in like spendable cash I can actually take to the bank. Not that I would take any money to the bank. Just keep it in crypto. Whoops, that was the wrong chart. I'll do Tesla real quick and just tell you guys that finally, everyone's asking why did Tesla suddenly reverse? It's because it was oversold. I really believe it should have held $400 no matter what. And all of these dips were just like these forced sales trying to scare people out of their shares. And look what we ended up with this bullish W pattern right here, there, to there. And what happens, it probably is going to come right up to my moving average 75, which is about right there. And then it'll get pushed down again, and then it's going to wick up. That's how these W's go. You get this pattern like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing it retest 466, back down a little bit, retest the all-time high, back down a little bit, and then new all-time highs is what we're looking for. I still hold, but I think we'll see $711 by mid-July this year. That's my prediction.
Nice. Yeah. Tesla, for me, it still was holding that 378.85, but it also had like a lot of confluence, as I mentioned on my Friday update, that if it broke below that, it would probably go down to the 350s. But so far, it's proving that this 886 kind of wants to hold out support. But for me, I'm looking for a confirmation of closing kind of back above previous all-time high here, the 414.50, for the week, right? I want to see it close back above that just to continue building a base on top of the previous all-time high for me to really confirm it wants to go back towards the new all-time highs. So that's the only thing I'm really focused on. If it does close above it, then I'll be back on that was just a short-term lost some momentum and it's recovered. But if it does close below it, I think there might be more attempts of maybe going lower. So I think it's not out of the woods yet, but I want to wait for the weekly candle close. So that's the number I'm watching for 1450 for the rest of the week.
Yeah, a lot of my subscribers have been telling me, not a lot of them, but a few of the more successful ones have been telling me that whenever I get really excited about something and I buy, they wait 3 days and then they buy.
The 3-day rule.
Yeah, because I'm just always so like, I don't know. I just get in, I get really excited and I get in a little too early. Yeah. My wife says, yeah, it's a 3-day rule, like calling it go back. That's so funny.
But I mean, no matter what, whether it wants to retest lows or break out, like Tesla chart is going much, much higher. So it's like if you're a day trader, yeah, day trade it. But if you're long term like me, like Cat or whatever, just enjoy the ride because it's gonna go. It's gonna go to the 500s. It's gonna go to the 600s. It's gonna go much higher. So I'm not worried about it either way, but I would prefer it lower just so I can add more TSLL for selfish reasons. But that's it.
I know, and I want to be more like Matt. I want to hold stocks for longer for more successful runs, which means having cash to deploy when things are testing supports. And I ran out of cash. I spent too much too soon, and then I just had to sit on my hands for these last few amazing sessions of super bargain deals. So next time,
never again.
Next time I'm going to have cash ready. I'm going to have at least 20% cash before we get another downturn like that. So I see that the Yard of Brick says that MicroStrategy is going to give him an AFib.
Yeah, I see MicroStrategy, and I see what it's doing here, and it was the perfect back test of the blue GAN level, and it never closed that gap where everybody was expecting it, and at one point I was too, but now that this blue level is holding, I think it's kind of good for a recovery, and the goal now for me that I'm watching is, yes, getting back above that 339 level, because 339 is the important fib. I think it's the 1.414. I don't have it on here, but it's in my memory. But more importantly, I wanted to get back above this 45-degree angle here, which is really around like 348, 349. So just keep on going back up, flip it back to a support, then it goes back towards all-time highs. So this is very good for MicroStrategy, a good back test of that level. Now it looks like possibility to regain some momentum. So like let's just round up to 350. I would like to see a weekly close above it.
That sounds good to me. Let's see. My MicroStrategy is this crazy super bullish chart. Thanks, Matt. Where, we're down here at 339, where we had this triangle shape. This is this triangle that it was projecting. This was a move out of it, which got me really excited. And then but I didn't sell like I should have. And then I just had to write it down here. We're back into this. It kind of followed the slope down, but now it's ready to break out again. And once, just like Tesla, I wouldn't say it's kind of a W, but you can see it's definitely under this moving average 75. It'll probably touch it. It'll be resistance the first time. Maybe it follows this cloud a little bit and then pulls out. So 491 will be support eventually, which means it'll be resistance the first time it hits it, maybe the first and second time it hits it. So I'm looking for this ABC wave to test 491, have to build a base below it, but then eventually when it does get over 491, oh my gosh, 697 is where I'm looking for the next build up into, and so that'll be exciting. I don't know. This timeline is probably not going to be the way it happens. It's probably going to have to push up quite a bit, but anyway, timing's hard, but I do like, I just can't wait. MicroStrategy, almost $700, and then just get to that after test back to 491. There you go, my super giant MicroStrategy. I've got so much MSTX, it's not funny. It is funny. It'll be more funny when it's all green again. I see a request for LAES, which I will
you can get
pull up. Because this is the one I think I got some of you guys into. Seals Q. one of my subscribers asked me about this. And I said, "Whoa, what is going on with this chart?" And I started charting it, and I thought we'd get. I thought it was going to hold at 662. It did not. I bought it at 6, and then it went all the way to. It touched 254 yesterday, but now if it's ready to really build a base. So this is 5 waves up. Oh gosh, it's almost actually 3 waves up and then 5 waves down in consolidation. So when it pops up, it should almost might look like 3 waves again, which means they'll be really fast. But yeah, I like Seals Corp. I sold a couple of things that were going to be winners, like 40% gainers, but I decided to sell them early to raise cash so I could buy more Seals Corp this morning, because I see this one going up just to the top of this cloud is like 200. Just to the top of this cloud is another 150%, and then to my wave 3 target I'm targeting is 530%. So yeah, trading 40% for potentially 500%. I'll do that all day long. So yeah, I'm buying more. I like Seals, LAES still, and even though it did this really tough retraction, I think it's just the farther back they pull this rubber band, the higher it's going to snap up. And it really is just doing a retrace back to. This is a good chart. It opened near. It opened at $8.50, and then ran up to 26, and then it just got knocked down to nothing, and it's coming back. So I like this for a nice ABC up to at least the 1644, but probably higher because it came so low. 88.6% would be $23.44, which is what I've got as my target here for the C target, the C wave up. All right, sorry, I think I've got definitely enough of that.
All right. Yeah, these are just very volatile. So the support ranges are very, very wide. So a lot of people, after an astronomical move, they expect it to continue, but it's not always going to continue, right? Let me just, before we do Pan W, let me just do some of those crypto requests with Cookie
Go right
DAO.
ahead.
It's not that much data, but I think this is an important chart. Just looking at the fibs for Cookie DAO here, from the all-time high before back in June down to here, it just blasted to the 1.618 and got rejected. So that was a clear rejection. Now it's really trying to overcome this 1.414, the 48 cent. And if not, support could be maybe the 35 cent, the 1.272. So could be just a breakout, get rejected, maybe a back test down a little bit lower, and then maybe try to build a base and go higher. So yes, that's a bullish chart, but the level to watch is 35 cents. If that holds, it can go higher. If not, it might need to retest the previous all-time highs. So let's just see how deep the correction is going to go, but it has potential to continue past the 77 cents and go to the $3 range and much higher if can break above this 77. And let me just get that Caspa in there.
That is a beautiful chart, by the way.
Yeah, it is. For a young chart, it's actually pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Let me just get that Caspa. So, do I like this chart? I mean, it doesn't. It's not making lower lows, right? So it just keeps on gradually staying and building a base at that level here, but it can't really get above these arcs here, and it can't get above anything. But on the weekly cloud, it's actually holding the bottom of the cloud very, very well. So that is the focus right there. Just stay within the cloud here. Then I think it can get up enough momentum and eventually break above this arc. And just like XRP, it's not going to fly to the $1 until it can break above this arc. And that currently is right around 17 cents, maybe 16 cents, depending on time. So we'll see if it can do that. And if it can, it'll be a lot more bullish. But until then, it's just going to be stuck. All right.
Hey, do you have any tips for Yard of Bricks with stories of people losing their seed phrases, etc., during the LA fires? Do you have any quick tips for safeguarding crypto holdings?
Well, they have fireproof pouches that you can buy. So there's that option to put it in a fireproof pouch. Or what you could do is just leave it on the trusted exchanges like Coinbase or whatever. And depending on how much, I guess, but I don't see them going out of business anytime soon. So it's just depending on your security and how much you really want to put on there. But yeah, in the meantime, I think there probably are going to create better ways to store your crypto, but not anytime soon, right?
Yeah. I almost feel like there's a way that you could just, break up your seed phrase into like two pieces and then hide the two pieces. If you just can't memorize the damn thing, then
Well, I think they do. I think there are companies that do that. They have a portion of your seed phrase and then like they put them all together or something. I think there are companies like seed recovery companies or something.
Well, you could do it yourself. You could just hide it like in plain sight somewhere on the web, or like in a couple of different cloud uh, storage solutions, and just make sure there's nothing that identifies what your address is. So you've got an address, and you've got half a seed token, and a second half of a seed token, and it's still really hard for anyone to like brute force those three pieces of information together somehow and ever be able to discover, the whole, unlock your whole position. Anyway, let me show. Oh, do you have more crypto to do? I don't want to stop you.
No, you can do the PanW. I think they were talking about. Oh yeah, somebody was talking about Fannie Mae before too. So I'm gonna just jump on that really quickly. They were talking about it a while ago as well. This Fannie Mae has been very explosive since the 45-cent zone. Now it's up at like $5. So this is actually getting above levels, right? And the level that I was really paying attention to on this was this 407, this 50% retrace level, and it exploded past it. And you can see in the past, let me just take off the Ichimoku. We can see it more clearly. You can see it was always a resistance zone, like with higher lows, or sorry, lower high, lower high, lower high. But now we finally got our first higher high from like this point back in 2019. So this chart actually looks pretty explosive now, and it has potential to continue higher. So I think as long as it stays above 407 here, this really has a chance to just keep going and going for Fannie Mae.
Is that the original gangster Fannie Mae like housing fund?
Yeah, I think so. Right?
It just got blown up by the housing bubble crisis.
Yeah, you can see back in 2007, 2008, where it just collapsed.
And now it's trying to make a comeback. That's wild.
Yeah, so it's not dead anymore because even back in time here, this 50% level back in 1987 was a resistance. So, I mean, that 407 was such an important level. It's ridiculous. So as long as that holds that support, I think it's going higher.
If it could just get back on the NASDAQ. Let's see, it says OTC.
Yeah.
Over the counter. All right. Can I do my PanW now?
Yeah.
Can I? Oh, this is so cool. So I drew this once already, but I want to draw it for you guys. So we're taking my trend-based fib extension. Here's PanW on a weekly candlestick chart. Go right back here. What's this? That's the pandemic, March of 2020. And then the obvious 1-2 is right here and to right here. So you just look for the highest high and then the next highest low. And then it gives you these extensions and it looks really good. I'm just like, I previewed it. And I take my 5-wave extension. And so going from, so this is wave 1, wave 2. You go from the bottom of wave 2. Now we're in wave 3. So from right here, here is the 764, 382, 1382, 1. Now this one went deeper than 100%, but it did finally find its footing at 100%. It went back to the 764. So it's either going to the 2382 or the 2236. I'm just going to have to put a range in there. And it wouldn't have been a question at all if the 100% had held perfectly. Then it definitely would have gone to the 238. But let's just put a box in here. So PanW is in its 5th wave. Looks like it's in its probably still in the heart of the 3rd wave with a deep. I mean, it's an ending diagonal is what is going on here, because this 1, 2. It's not. Yeah, this looks like an ending diagonal. So maybe we'll go to 270. Anyway, that's my target from there. If you wanted to get even closer numbers, I could probably pull that up with a quick fib. I'll call this the bottom, and then here's your 1, 2, and then from here, I made the mistake. Let's turn off the extend lines rate. Sorry, I do love. I try to do these surveys because I know you guys just want to be spoon-fed the numbers, but I just want to show you how Elliott wave theory can be so magical and beautiful. So off of this wave 2, it got 100, 618, 1618, failed, came back to the 618, which is why it's a diagonal. So look for 2618. Oh, that doesn't really help me, does it? I'm sorry, we're just stuck. We're gonna have to wait and see how much higher this goes and then pulls back before I can before I can make the predictions for the rest of this chart here. But probably it's going to see some significant. Just look at these fibs on the right. So take your screenshot. Know that my target is somewhere between 270 and 258, and then every fib on the way up, this 150 level, this 1618, which is at 205, the 176, the 200, the 2236. Just each of those is going to be a resistance on the way up. So there you go. Palo Alto Networks. Take a screenshot of that, and that's your trading guide from here. And do watch the Ichimoku conversion baseline interactions here on the weekly chart. All right, what else do we have? Not so many requests this morning, which is good and bad, I guess. SoFi, Gevo. I can do Gevo real quick. I've got it right here. So Gevo, I had this in 5 waves up. Here's the 1, 2, and it's still trying to get to the 764. And so, but on the way there, I said, you know what? It looks like it's going to pull back, and I drew myself this little patience buy zone chart, and I bought in the middle of it, and obviously I could have waited to buy even lower. When this Ichimoku baseline and this 8-hour chart's been down here for a while, I could have just waited for it to touch the baseline and been great Mattsby style patient. Anyway, I bought about 240. It struck 206, the 236, and I'm still looking for 376 next, and maybe back to 253, and then it can keep going and going higher to 575, 452, and then 897. Or it does this big ABC up, because what it's doing is it's doing an ABC recovery from, it's looking back at the 1556 as the high. So the ABC is what I've got in numbers here. 624, 403, 980, and that hasn't changed at all. So it could be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it could be more like the ABC. Probably more like the ABC. All right, Matt, back to you.
Okay, so what else are we working on here? Let's look at some of the requests.
You want to talk about Rocket Lab?
Rocket Lab. All right, let's go to Rocket Lab here. So, yeah, I have my GAN here. I have my Ichimoku. And what we are seeing now is it's currently in the process of back testing the conversion line and almost the top of the bottom arc again. And pre-market, it is getting back above the 2437 conversion line of the Ichimoku. But what I'm focused on is kind of getting it back above this angle, more importantly, around 2530, just to see if it can really hold as support. So it did break out massively. It is looking like it's cooling down a little bit, and it looks like that blue level of my GAN was perfect resistance. So with that said, do I think it's going to break above this blue level anytime soon? I do not. So that $29, $30 level is looking like some resistance, and what I can see maybe is possibly maybe even going down this arc, maybe even retesting the previous all-time highs, 2130s, to see if it can hold as support. So I think at this point, if you're not already in it, you would be chasing it. And I don't know if there's really too much momentum to break above $30 anytime soon. So, yeah, I think it might have a chance to go back up there, but I think it might just be a lower high on its way to go back down. So these kind of massive moves, I am always cautious, because if you didn't buy this first back test of the cloud right here, then or even like when it got above the 200 week, then I think you're just chasing the rest of the way. So I like to get in before these massive moves and not just look for maybe this support will hold, because there's so much more support underneath it, and even it could fall down to it could even backtest the 786, right? The $14. It could do that. So I'm just cautious if you're looking at getting into this, and can't really get more bullish until it breaks above this blue level there around the 2980s. So I think it's just stuck in a range right now.
That sounds like really good advice.
Yeah.
Just just to reinforce with my chart on Rocket Lab, same thing. I've got my usual super high targets for this eventually, but this is an 8-hour chart with my moving average 75, and what has happened is that price has fallen below moving average 75 and it's tested up to it, and it is still resistance. So if it can't get over this moving average 75, it means it's probably going to end up underneath this cloud, and that's going to do exactly what Matt talked about. And maybe look more to his weekly Ichimoku conversion line and baseline as places it could possibly fall back to. Don't what on the weekly was it? Which one were you looking at? A monthly?
No, I was looking at the weekly. The weekly is at 24.37 for the conversion line. So if it closes above that, it has potential to go back near all-time highs, but I don't know if it can break it.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, just keep an eye on that conversion line. If it starts to move off of it, maybe you could venture some with a stop below the conversion line. Let's see, fossil. Here's my fossil weekly chart. It didn't really get out of this fourth wave. It's still definitely, this is the first, let me pull back a little bit. Here on a daily chart. It's in the third wave after this 1, 2 right here. Wave start, wave 1, wave 2. Falls back over for a longer 2. There's this wick up to a 3. This almost looks an ABC, really. This wave 4 has fallen all the way down to here. Yeah, it could still go for the 2382. It could still go for 329 next. It's just going to take a little while to get there. Yeah, let's use this tool. That's not too bad. So maybe in another, if this low holds, maybe another month to get to a 107% gain to 329, followed by some sort of ABC. I'm not going to worry about that right now. We'll just put that right there. There's fossil, and otherwise, I mean, it's above the daily 5 and it's heading up. It's just below this cloud, and it is below both the conversion and baseline. So that's that's kind of scary. Even on the weekly, it's below both the baseline and conversion line in the Ichimoku cloud. So anyway, I mean, look at the weekly. It could fall all the way back down here again. Sorry, fossil is not looking super happy right now.
All right, let me get into Taiwan Semi. I see that request. So for Taiwan Semi, the focus was always this 209 for me, this 1.414, and it got rejected, right? It did open the week way above it last week, but it closed below. And now we're just seeing more consolidation underneath this 209. So ultimately, I'm not sure, because even above that 209, you have my arc right up here as well, which is going to be some sort of resistance as well in the 225s. So yes, it can go back up, but I'm not sure if it's really ready to break this zone. So what we might see is more rejection attempts up here. And then if it can't close above, then it might just start drifting towards the cloud, maybe even back down to the 1.272 fib around 184. So this is a really bullish chart, but again, it's at a resistance point, so it might take some time for it to break above, especially since you got a lot of confluence of resistance in this zone. So just a little bit of caution for TSM, and maybe it needs to just go down to sideways for some time before continuing its uptrend.
I've got Fubo TV on deck. This is another one I want to buy. Some of that money I sold yesterday. I'm going to have to split it between LAES and Fubo because I like the Fubo chart a lot here. From the top, it just reached a 660 back to where it all began down here to $1.35. It tested almost to the 50%, the halfway point, which is also where the baseline, Ichimoku 8-hour baseline sits right into there. That might be all of it. And once we can get over this magical TGM 78.6% fib again, I think it could become support and then move on up higher again. And the whole Fubo, the reason I'm excited about Fubo TV is because when you look at on the weekly chart and you pull back and you see all these other times that it had this huge drop and then a huge regain, and now huge drop, and I'm looking for another huge regain. So if it gets just to the 382 of this previous high, if I make this is my 100% up here when it was 62.29, then only just getting to the 382 from where price is right now is 450% higher. So yeah, that gets my juices flowing. Fubo TV. So just ask for it by name and watch out for watch it on the 8-hour chart like I'm watching it right here. Make sure it doesn't fall below 398. I thought it could touch 398 yesterday, but it didn't. And what else, Matt? What you want to do?
Oh, I missed a SoFi from Shlomi, so let me just do SoFi. And SoFi hit perfect support. So SoFi was a great breakout, good rejection at the 1606, and a perfect back test of that 1369 fib and the orange level of my GAN. It hit both. So yes, it's very extended, but these are two strong confluences of support. So I'm really focused on that. And now price is maybe going back up towards the middle point between these two fibs here. But I think this has good potential of holding. So if it doesn't, it's going to fall a bit further. But I think it really can start to build a base at this higher level here and maybe doesn't even need to retrace. So I'm really watching this 1360s zone right here. And it even got down to 1360 exactly. So that is essentially looking like your support right now. So that's the only thing that really matters, 1360. If that continues to hold, then I think it's just going to continue to build a base. But if it breaks, then it could fall much further because it is very extended. So this is very important. This is like the line in the sand. Very important level to hold, and I think it has good potential to hold currently.
All right. You know, I have to do DXYZ because there is a rocket. There's a Starship launch tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
So here's DXYZ, pronounced Destiny, and I drew like a worst case scenario if it did an ABC down to the 618 to 786 zone. We never got there. We haven't gotten there yet, or at least we maybe didn't get there. On the 8-hour chart, there is this green Ichimoku cloud that we got through the bottom of, and now price is trying to maybe follow it back up. Let's look for, it never did a clean test of my moving average 75 as resistance, and you can see the conversion line is coming right along there too. So let's see if it doesn't like jump up here over the next couple, the launch is a 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So, you know, over the next 36 hours or so, let's see if it can't get back to here and then decide when the launch happens if it's going to go over the moving average 75 and the conversion line in blue, or get stuck under it and have to go down again. But I think if the launch is good, it'll go back over it. You'll see it kind of get stuck here between the baseline and the conversion line for the first attempt. So it'll kind of go from here to here, then it'll go up here, and then have to be pushed down again. And maybe the 764 holds, and then we get movement higher. So look for that. Worst case scenario, the rocket explodes at the launch pad, and then we get my blue box down here. But I don't, like I said yesterday, I don't think it's going to explode at the launch pad because they do a really good job of controlling what's going to fail and knowing what isn't going to fail. Basically, they've mastered it not exploding at the launch pad. So
yeah. With that said, I think I got to go now. But you got one more? Okay.
No, I was going to say one more mission after this one. The next one, they're going to try to actually put some of the newfangled giant Starlink satellites into orbit. So that'll be really exciting for that one. It'll be a Starship mission with an actual, you know, a secondary mission other than just seeing how long it can survive.
Nice.
Right.
But yeah,
Well,
with that
thanks, Matt.
said, yeah, I see, Nad, your comment about Rocket Lab. Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to go down there. I'm just saying it has potential to the $14 for Rocket Lab. Just one last thought. Yeah, and I can actually see it riding this arc as support. But my point is, I don't think it's going to break above this $30 level just yet, because it was a very big rejection. Like, it was a wick up and then a red candle close with a follow through down below. So I think it could just continue down this arc for some time, maybe even retest the previous all-time highs. So yeah, just watch for that for Rocket Lab. But I'm just saying, if one support level breaks, then it's going to go quickly to the next, and that's usually what happens. So that's why I'm always about one level at a time. And if one breaks, then that confirms to me that price probably wants to go lower. But with that said, guys, I got to go jump on my private live stream. So talk to you guys tomorrow.
Tonight.
Oh, yeah, tonight. Yeah,
yeah,
the triumvirate tonight.
The triumvirate rides again tonight. All right. Thanks, Matt. I will see you later this evening.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Good luck, everybody. Tracker out.